Hey guys, it is your girl Jade Ashley and I am back with a new video of when the beat drops. And like always, I'm here to give you my 5 hottest beats in music of this week, so you have to stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so let's dive into this week's beats. So my very first beat of this week, which was, talked about literally at the top of the week, would have to be the Drake fans pulling up on Joe Budden. So, I don't know if you guys may recall, may not recall. So, Joe Budden and, Drake, they've been going in on each other, dissing each other back and forth and stuff like that. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this kind of originated when, Joe Budden, he made a comment about Drake's album, Views from the Six, when it had released. He said something to the fact of it wasn't inspirational or lyrically, it wasn't, he said something to the fact that, the album wasn't really all that great or built up to the hype that a lot of people was making it seem to be. So, that was kind of like that just ticked it off, and then, everything just started happening. So, Drake will say something about, Joe Budden, and Joe Budden will say something about him. And one thing I can say for a fact that, Drake going back and forth with Joe Budden, I mean, I feel it was pretty cool because, even though he's not really looked at it as this type of rapper, but Joe Budden lyrically is nice. He's not in the forefront when it comes to rap and stuff like that, but lyrically Joe Budden is nice. That's just the end of it, even though he only got that one Pump It Up hit single that everybody keeps referencing to. But as far as the whole incident goes, so apparently there were a few Drake fans, they pulled up on Joe Budden, literally pulled up to this nigga in his driveway, hey, Joe Budden, pump it up. And then he was running to get to them and stuff like that. Matter of fact, how about I just show you guys the video right now?
It's Joe Budden. It's Joe Budden. Joe Budden.
I keep saying these little internet games gonna get one of you niggas killed. Yep. I know.
If you come on this fucking block again, I'm gonna kill one of you little niggas.
Okay, so that was just too crazy. Some of y'all fans, I know y'all love y'all Drake and whatever the case may be, but that Joe Budden, he's crazy. I don't know if you ever heard of some of the things he's done in the past, but he's crazy. So y'all might want to choose your battles and not fight for Drake or whatever the case may be. But as you guys can see, they were being chased by Joe Budden, and there was so many memes that was created. I saw a Temple Run meme that was created. I think somebody said that Joe Budden was running like he was in GTA, and it was funny. Obviously, that memes basically control social media nowadays. But aside from that, earlier or later on this week, Joe Budden, he was on an ESPN podcast where he revealed that Drake had recently sent him a DM on Instagram, and basically Drake invited him to one of his 4 shows here in New York City at MSG, and he basically challenged him. He said, if you can release 25 diss tracks between now and when I arrived in New York to do those diss tracks, I'll pay you $10,000. So I mean, I guess that kind of explains maybe why Joe's pretty much going in when it comes to dropping these diss tracks and coming at Drake. But honestly, the same thing that happened with Drake and Meek last summer, literally last summer, I think last week was it made officially a year when that whole Drake and Meek thing started. So it's 1 year later, and then he's in this whole beef, another rap beef for Joe Budden. But I feel somebody had mentioned when that beef last summer happened that it's good for the culture, it's good for hip-hop. It makes these rappers want to create songs, and you see Drake got a Grammy nomination off a diss track from Meek. So I mean, I feel it's great as long as nobody's getting hurt. Those Drake fans almost got hurt, but as long as there's no violence in the situation and it's all about just the art of rap and You know, if they dissing each other, they dissing each other. So if you guys have any thoughts on this whole situation about the whole, you know, OVO Drake fans running up on, you know, Joe Budden or whatever the case may be, definitely comment below and let me know your thoughts. So we're going to move on to my second beat of this week, and we have to talk about Bow Wow. Bow Wow has been the talk of social media literally all week, literally right now as I'm recording this video. And Bow Wow basically is the talk of everyone's topic or whatever the case may be. It's because of his remarks as far as his thoughts on voting, and he said something to where he's not black, and I'm like, oh my gosh, another celebrity who claims they're not black. And Bow Wow, of all people, I did not expect this. Like, I was one of those girls that was fiending over Bow Wow as a kid, had to be at every show, had to get every CD, had to everything. So, you know, to see one of my childhood, I'm digging in my ears and shit, and I'm sorry, y'all. But anyway, to see one of my childhood crushes just, look, everybody's getting in that ass, basically. So it all started when someone tweeted Bow Wow asking him Hillary versus Trump, because, you know, this week is the Democratic National Convention, last week was a Republican. So, you know, we're all like political in our political beings right now in this country. There's so much going on when it comes to politics. So somebody tweeted him and asked him Hillary or Trump. He responded, I don't really care, because after I learned what I learned about politics, I just stay away and let down. So then somebody said, you should care based on the fact that your ancestors died so that you can have the right to vote. Then he said, man, I only believe what my eyes see. I'm mixed. I don't know what my ancestors was doing. I only know what I see. So then another person tweeted, you don't know what your ancestors were doing. Did your eyes see a movie called Summer directed by, and then they tagged Ava DuVernay, and then he said, yeah, I seen Summer. Was I related to anyone? No, I'm saying my more side of the family is not black. Heritage is different. So when I tell you that literally everybody has been going in on Bow Wow, and I just saw while I was actually getting ready to record this video, BET Jams, they got a whole Bow Wow mix going on where the hashtag is We Lost Moss. So I thought that was so freaking petty. But I mean, Bow Wow, don't become the next Raven-Symoné. You know, she did that whole I ain't black, I'm American, or I'm mixed, or whatever the case may be. Bow Wow, you got some black in you. You can be mixed whatever you want, but at the end of the day, when it all boils down, you are black. And as far as like your whole outpoint on like, you know, not wanting to vote, I mean, I don't think that's like a good decision, especially with how critical this upcoming election is. But I mean, if you don't want to answer the question as far as like who you're going to vote for, I would just, you know, probably would have responded to that tweet was, or with, you know, I don't like to publicly, you know, speak politics or something like that. Because there's some people who don't like to publicly speak politics because they have, you know, their own political views and they don't want to offend anybody, or they want to, you know, create type of debate because everybody has their opinion, or maybe they do want to do like a political debate because it's just healthy or whatever the case may be. But just to sit here and say, all right, I'm not voting because of what I learned about politics and yada yada yada, and then let some BS go down, and then you be the first nigga, you ain't black, but you be the first nigga to probably complain about something. So Bow Wow, get it together, because you about to get your black card revoked. I'm sorry. You really about to get your black card revoked. And I don't want to see that happen to you. So I think you really, 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 really need to get it together, okay? So, y'all let me know what y'all think about Lil Bow Wow. You know, when he say stuff like that, he can't be Shad Moss. He can't be Bow Wow. He got to be demoted back to Little Bow Wow. So, y'all let me know what y'all think about Bow Wow and his whole I'm mixed and I'm not voting, you know, statements that has everybody up in a bunch this past week. So, we're going to move on to our third beat of this week. And my third beat of this week, I have to talk about Dr. Dre getting arrested in front of his Malibu home. So, apparently, you know, people are just crazy. So someone was blocking his driveway, so he asked the guy to move. It was like a guy on a motorcycle. He asked the guy to move, like, hey, can you move out my driveway? The guy wanted to get rowdy, get disrespectful, start cursing. So Dr. Dre, what he does is he just pulls out his phone to record the, you know, incident and stuff. And I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say this guy was a white guy, because then this guy, he left and came back and called the police and demanded that Dr. Dre have a citizen's arrest because he claims that Dr. Dre pulled out a gun on him. Police arrived, they, you know, quickly like detain him and, you know, investigate the situation. There was no gun found at the scene. You know, it was recently reported today that the DA, they threw out like the whole gun charges because Dr. Dre didn't do nothing. So, but I mean, that's something that's like, I guess you can say, easily swept under the rug. But one reason why I wanted to talk about it is because, you know, it sparked like this whole racial thing and like this whole classism thing about where no matter how much money you have, no matter how much, you know, famous you are and stuff like that, the color of your skin, they still gonna treat you like a nigga, basically. And that's what the case was. And then I saw a couple of people were saying, you know, had it not been Dr. Dre, those, you know, the DA would have never threw out the gun charges. And I'm like, but look, wrong is wrong. If he did not have a gun, then why should he be charged, whether he's Dr. Dre or Antoine from down the street? Like, I just don't know. I think it's just real crazy. And one person that actually commented on the whole situation was, you know, NWA's former manager, Jerry Heller. If you all seen, you know, Straight Outta Compton, y'all know they whole little situation and their whole history with Jerry from the movie. But yeah, so their former manager said, as you know, professionally, I'm a big Dr. Dre fan. Personally, I'm not such a big Dr. Dre fan, but I think that was some bullshit. If I wasn't there, but it sounds like all the bullshit to me. What did he do? He was trying to leave his house and the guy had his driveway blocked. You would have done the same thing without knowing all the facts. It seems to me like it was a racial issue. And I think honestly that's what it was. But glad, you know, that, you know, Dr. Dre doesn't have to deal with an unlawful lawsuit or something like that. Like, he would have been good. But yeah, that's what happened this week. So, moving on to my fourth beat of this week, keeping up with an NWA, you know, group member, I have to talk about Ice Cube. So recently, Ice Cube and VH1 are teaming up to do a new television game show, and this one will be called Hip Hop Squares, and it's supposed to shadow after the classic game show Hollywood Squares, where basically, you know, celebs answer questions and they try to get as many as they can right to get 3 X's or O's in a row, basically like tic-tac-toe. But with this version here, you know, we'll have like well-known entertainers and like, you know, what is it, like music and like comedy and stuff like that, and they'll be asked about questions, you know, pertaining to pop culture, and, you know, it's pretty much the same, you know, just and stuff like that. And, you know, Ice Cube and his Cube Vision production company will be in charge of that, along with VH1. And he had this to say about the new series. He said, Hip Hop Squares is going to be fun and spontaneous. Unlike typical game shows, viewers should never know what's going to happen next. When VH1 asked us to join the producing team, we jumped aboard as we had success with VH1, and we love their team, excitement, and commitment to the show. So, I think this will be, you know, pretty much a good switch up in, you know, VH1's lineup. You know, we pretty much know VH1 for like, you know, Ratchet Mondays. I mean, besides that, they do like reality shows and stuff, but to, you know, see celebrities, you know, having fun on a game show and trying to win something. And I think one thing that I'm pretty much looking forward to for when this show actually premieres, which I believe is in the fall, is just the questions, because I'm pretty good with pop culture and stuff like that. So I'm just wanting to, like, you know, hear the questions and, you know, probably trying to answer the questions, you know, to the best of my ability, even though, like, I won't be there personally, but there'll be some celebrity, you know, on television trying to answer the question. So, I don't know, I like brain games, believe it or not, and, you know, keeps me intrigued. So, when it mixes with something that I'm interested in, such as pop culture, you know, I definitely can't wait to see something like that. So, let me know, Hip Hop Squares, does that sound like a show that you're interested in? You know, maybe, yes, no, let me know. So, moving on to my last beat of this week, and this news recently just broke out, and I am talking about Mary J. Blige filing for divorce from her husband of 12 years, can do. So we all know that Mary J. Blige, her husband, also, you know, serves as her manager. But TMZ broke the story, letting us know that she has filed for divorce. She has listed reconcilable differences as the reason as to why, but as far as like their separation date is still to be announced. So I guess like they're still like legally together, but they're not legally separated. But she wants a divorce, and she's not looking to pay him any spousal support or anything. It's unknown on whether or not they have a prenup, but I would hope so, because by the time they got together she was already big. So, you know, just saying. But yeah, so a rep from her camp, they said to TMZ, Ms. Blige is saddened to say that it's true that she has filed for divorce, saying some things don't work how we hope they would, but there is a divine plan and a reason for everything. Mary will continue writing and working on her album, which is due out later this year, along with her world tour. She thanks and appreciates her fans for their support and love through this very difficult emotional time. She's probably gonna get Andre Harrell to be back on her team now that her husband is gone. But a lot of people are petty, because a lot of people was like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad that she's getting divorced, but I'm happy at the same time because her music about to be fire. And I'm not gonna say that Mary is corny, but I think the last album she released was I think like London Sessions or something like that. So, you know, and I know she collaborated with Sam Smith with Stay With Me, but I feel like that was really like the last big thing that she had going on. So I mean, to get like that real good Mary hit single, it's been quite some time. So, you know, a lot of people, they love, you know, Mary. She down for that, you know, heartbreak songs. Those are her classics. So a lot of people are kind of excited, which is, you know, not too nice and petty and stuff like that. But yeah, those are my 5 hot beats of this week. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for tuning in to this week's video. And of course, you know, I have to end every single video by reminding you guys to comment, like, subscribe, and share. I have one quick note to leave you guys with this week, and I just want to send a congratulations to Wale. He is now a dad to a beautiful baby girl. Recently, he and his girlfriend welcomed their first child together, so just congratulations to them. I'm so excited for him, because I know how much he's talked about, you know, wanting a child, and I know in the past he had a child, but unfortunately lost a child. So congratulations to them. And, you know, I have to leave you with my song of the week, and my song of the week is going to have to go to DJ Khaled. He has a new song called Don't You Mind, which features tons of people, which includes Nicki Minaj, August Alsina, Rick Ross, Future, Chris Brown, Jeremiah, and it's all off of his new album Major Key, which is out right now, and it samples Usher and Ludacris's and Lil Jon's song Lovers and Friends, which came back out in like the summer of 2004. I so remember when that came out. So the song is dope. If you want to check out the song in its entirety, you can head over to my blog at www.jade-ashley94.blogspot.com. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. So bye. Hey guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to share and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.